In a grand hall, a young girl and two others approach a formal podium. The girl's face shines with hopeful excitement for her own bright future. An ecstatic Sasha embraces Heiss, celebrating her new Swordmaster blessing. A document confirms her powerful new title, Swordmaster, in bold letters. Heiss enthusiastically agrees, anticipating their future adventures together. Sasha reflects that this moment brings them one step closer to their dream. With quiet determination, Heiss affirms his hope for their shared future. A somber flashback shows the two children standing before graves in the rain. They made a vow to become the strongest team to help others. Rain and tears mix on Heiss's young face as he makes his promise. He resolves that no one else should ever suffer the loss they did. Back in the present, the Guildmaster summons Heiss for his blessing ceremony. A brief explanation describes blessings as powers granted to humans by God. The ceremony proceeds, showing the process of receiving a blessing at age 12. A massive tome, the Skill Encyclopedia, is placed before Heiss. Driven by their dream, he watches as the book's pages begin to flip. As Heiss touches the tome, it erupts in a brilliant, blinding light. The light fades, revealing a dark, smudged, and corrupted page. He squints, barely making out the distorted words, Weapon Master. Utterly bewildered, he questions what this strange result could possibly be. He approaches Guildmaster Geist, seeking an explanation for the bizarre entry. The experienced Guildmaster leans in to get a better look at the page. The text appears misspelled as Ueponmaster, Zrenia, deepening the mystery. Geist admits he has no idea what it means, leaving Heiss aghast. Sasha looks on with dawning horror, realizing the problem. The terrible implication hits her. If it's unknown, he can't use it. The narrative jumps forward, indicating that 2 years have passed. The scene shifts to a vast and rugged mountain landscape. A much older Heiss pants heavily under an enormous backpack. The party's vice leader, Reynold, asks Heiss if he is managing. Reynold offers a hollow reassurance that they are almost there. Heiss insists he is fine, while Sasha responds with a cold, I see. With a sigh, Sasha announces that the party will take a break. She informs the exhausted Heiss they will set out again in 30 minutes. Heiss tries to protest, desperate to prove he can keep going. He nearly collapses, still attempting to show his usefulness to the team. A teammate points out that they couldn't fight if they had to carry the bags. Piazzolla scoffs at his empty words, while Robin offers patronizing help. Sasha, the leader, sternly reminds him of the quest's importance. Robin adds condescendingly that they can't make things harder for the team. Forcing a smile, Heiss thanks her, but insists he can handle his load. He turns away from the group, telling them to get some rest. 2 years have passed and his blessing remains a mystery. He reflects on how the team grew while he remained unable to contribute. A diagram highlights the rank disparity between A-rank Sasha and him. He clenches his fist in shame, feeling like a useless luggage carrier. Reynold gives his shoulder a patronizing pat. He tells Heiss not to let it get to him and to just rest. Reynold then steps away, approaching Sasha, who watches him come. He asks Sasha how Heiss is holding up, commenting on his exhaustion. Reynold remains confident that they will successfully complete their mission. Sasha flinches slightly as Reynold asks if she has made her decision. With a grim and resolute expression, she confirms that she has. Heiss clenches his fist, sensing the ominous tension in the air. The adventuring party stands before the dark entrance of a monster's den. Sasha lays out the battle plan, stating she will attack head-on. Tycoon and Robin are tasked with providing support from the sides. Reynold is assigned to guard the rear of the formation. Piazzolla, the team's healer, is instructed to stay in the back. A panicked Heiss asks about his role. Sasha coldly tells him to wait there. He clenches his fist in anguish as he is left behind. Sasha gives the command for the team to proceed as planned. The team's mage, Tycoon, begins casting his support magic. His sage blessing grants him the ability to use various forms of magic. With a determined shout, Sasha gives the final order to advance. Inside the cave, the colossal Queen Cobra emerges with a heavy thud. The massive snake hisses menacingly at the adventurers. Sasha draws her unique, futuristic-looking sword with a sharp sound. She declares with cold authority that the creature will die here. Watching from the entrance, Heiss is filled with a sense of awe. He reflects on the incredible power of her Swordmaster blessing. Sasha leaps into battle, her sword and shield glowing with magical energy. Her ability is one of only 16 rare master blessings currently known. While Sasha engages the queen, smaller snakes attack the other members. A small snake lunges at Robin with a threatening hiss. Another snake shatters Reynold's shield, breaking his defense. Piazzolla mocks Reynold for letting an enemy get past him. Heiss moves forward, determined to help his struggling teammates. In a moment of panic, Reynolds screams Heiss's name for help. A snake lunges from the darkness, aiming directly for the defenseless Heiss. Heiss looks up in surprise as the monster closes in on him. At the last second, Sasha intercepts the attack, saving his life. On the ground, Heiss stammers his thanks and apology to her. He tries to explain that he only wanted to be of use to the team. Sasha erupts in fury, is screaming at him to stop causing trouble. Her harsh words leave Heiss stunned and speechless. She turns her back on him and returns to the ongoing battle. Heiss is left standing alone, frozen in shock and shame. After the fight, Tycoon suggests gathering the human bones for the guild. The others decide to salvage only the Queen Cobra's core. Heiss is relegated to the menial task of collecting the skeletal remains. While sifting through the bones, his hand finds an intact, mysterious book. He holds up the pristine volume, wondering what it could be. Piazzolla's sharp voice cuts him off, ordering him to pack up. Flustered, Heiss quickly shoves the strange book into his bag. Later, Heiss sits alone by a window, lost in thought. He examines the book, finding an image of a desert eagle. The strange feeling of mystery reminds him of his own blessing. He wonders if this book might finally be the key to his power. The door opens abruptly, revealing the return of his party, Sacred. A young man, Heiss, gets up from his table as his adventuring party files into the room. The team's leader, Sasha, places her hand on a book, preparing to speak. Her gaze is cold and unwavering as she delivers a devastating decision. Heiss's face contorts in shock, unable to believe what he is hearing. He murmurs in utter disbelief, thinking there is no way this is happening. He desperately asks what happened to the promise they once made together. A teammate, Reynolds, asks Sasha if she has forgotten their shared promise. Sasha looks away, confirming that she has not forgotten their past agreement. She explains their team, Sacred, is about to be promoted to A rank. She states that Heiss will only continue to drag the rest of the team down. With a heavy thud, she places a large pouch of money on the table. She tells him to take the money for his journey back home. Reynolds glares down at Heiss with an expression of pure contempt. He approaches Heiss, the severance money sitting between them on the table. He patronizingly pats Heiss's shoulder, promising to make their team's name famous. Heiss asks if there's any place left for him, and Reynolds confirms there isn't. Heiss stands silently, staring at the pouch of money on the table. He sarcastically remarks that Reynolds seems very eager to see him leave. He glances over at the other team members, gauging their reactions. The goggled girl leaps forward, vehemently protesting Heiss's expulsion from the team. She argues that Heiss's master blessing might one day prove invaluable. Reynolds coldly questions when that day will ever come, dismissing her concerns. The goggled girl is shocked by Reynolds' uncharacteristically harsh words. Reynolds stomps his foot, declaring Heiss is no longer needed in Sacred. He looks at Heiss with a stern expression, preparing to deliver the final verdict. He formally announces that he is kicking Heiss out of the party. Heiss calmly accepts, grabbing his book from the table to leave. As he turns to go, Reynolds offers the money pouch as a parting gift. Reynolds grabs Heiss's shoulder, insisting he take the severance payment. Heiss explodes in rage, slapping the pouch away with incredible force. The other team members look on in shock as Heiss agrees to leave. He clenches his fist, declaring that he is never giving up. He furiously vows he will never become an adventurer like Sasha. His words hit Sasha, her eyes widening in shock and pain. He slams the door behind him, roaring that he will never give up. The remaining members of Sacred stare at the closed door in stunned silence. Later, Reynolds approaches Sasha as she quietly gathers the scattered coins. He apologizes for asking her to go through with such a difficult task. Sasha dismisses his apology, telling him not to worry about it. Reynolds asks if she is sure this is how she wanted things to go. She confesses she would rather he hate her than see him die. Reynolds understands her decision, looking out over the city at night. 2 months later, Heiss clutches a bandaged arm, wincing in pain. He reflects on his meager accomplishment of defeating 20 goblins that day. He knows it's not enough and that he must become stronger. Other adventurers whisper, identifying him as the one kicked out of Sacred. He clenches his fist in shame, hearing them call him a disgrace. He begins to walk away from the gossiping adventurers in the guild hall. A different set of footsteps approaches him from behind, stopping him. He turns to see Sasha has appeared before him, her expression unreadable. Her sudden appearance reminds him of their painful last encounter. He recalls the day the entire team confronted him to kick him out. He flinches as she speaks, telling him to listen to what she says. She gives him a tip about white clover flowers in the Dazara wetlands. She curtly states that is all she has to say to him. He watches as she and the rest of Sacred turn and leave. He ponders her words, thinking about the flowers in the wetlands. He knows white clover flowers are valuable and could earn him much money. A spark of hope ignites within him at this sudden opportunity. He wonders if Sasha and the others are trying to look out for him. He allows himself a small, hopeful smile, thinking she might still care. He clutches the strap of his basket, his resolve renewed. He looks toward the city, believing that perhaps Sasha still has faith in him. The next day, he arrives at the vast open wetlands. His breath catches in his throat as he beholds the beautiful sight. He exclaims in awe at the endless field of white flowers before him. He wades into the sea of flowers, beginning to gather them. He carefully snips a flower, placing it in his basket. He thinks that even if they aren't on a team, their dream might live. He decides he should thank them for this chance to get back on his feet. A sudden shadow falls over him, blotting out the sun. He glances up, confused by the sudden darkness in the middle of the day. A monstrous, draconic beast looms over him, its form terrifying. He can only manage a weak sound of utter shock and disbelief. The dragon lets out a deafening roar, its fanged maw wide open. He lets out a cry of pure terror, completely frozen by fear. His mind screams at him to escape as his heart pounds in his chest. His legs tremble uncontrollably, rooted to the spot by sheer terror. The world blurs into lines of motion as the beast attacks. The dragon's massive claw swipes through the air with incredible speed. He turns to flee, but the attack is already upon him. The monster's tail whips around, creating a powerful gust of wind. His eye widens in horror an instant before the devastating impact. He is sent flying through the air, crashing hard against a rock. He coughs up blood, his body battered and broken from the blow. He realizes with horror that this is the dragon's bathing ground. Blood drips to the ground as he questions why Sasha sent him here. The mocking words of the guild adventurers echo in his mind. A memory of Sasha's gentle smile flashes before his eyes. He asks if he was truly nothing more than an obstacle to her. The massive dragon lands with a heavy thud, trapping him. The beast lets out a low, menacing growl, its intent clear. He knows his end is near, his mind screaming that he doesn't want to die. His desperate plea echoes in his mind, a mantra against death. His eye transforms, the iris becoming a glowing, complex reticle. His hand trembles as a strange power begins to manifest. A brilliant flash of light erupts from his outstretched hand. A strange flapping sound accompanies the materialization of an object. A weapon, an M79 grenade launcher, forms from the light. He instinctively grips the strange weapon, its form feeling unnervingly natural. An impossible knowledge floods his mind as he examines the unfamiliar grenade launcher. He understands that a simple pull of the trigger will unleash an explosive projectile. The monstrous armored dragon lunges from above, its fanged maw wide open. It lets out a deafening roar as the young man Heist takes aim from the ground. With newfound resolve burning in his eyes, he realizes he can kill the beast. His finger tightens on the trigger, firing the weapon with a soft, unassuming sound. The small grenade sails through the air, heading directly for the dragon's gaping mouth. A catastrophic explosion erupts from within, violently tearing the monster apart. Heist can only watch, his eyes wide with shock at the raw, destructive power. Fragments of the dragon's tough armored hide are sent flying from the blast. Standing over the smoldering remains, he identifies his newfound power as Weapon Master. His mind flashes to the mysterious book, open to a page detailing the M79. The book's page clearly shows a diagram of the M79 grenade launcher. A wave of emotion washes over him, and he begins to laugh hysterically. His hand trembles as the broken, pained laughter escapes him. His face is a mask of disbelief and anguish as he laughs uncontrollably. The memory of Sasha's smiling face shatters as he realizes she betrayed him. Clutching his face in agony, he vows with burning rage that he will never forget this. A banner hangs from the Adventurers Guild under a crescent moon. Inside, Guildmaster Geist congratulates Sasha's party on achieving their A-rank status. The stern but fair Guildmaster acknowledges their gratitude for his support. Sasha turns to Geist, inquiring about the well-being of their former teammate, Heist. Geist mentions that some bad rumors have been circulating about the young man lately. The words "bad rumors" echo in Sasha's mind, her expression filled with concern. A vision shows Heist being mocked by shadowy figures for not giving up his dream. The Guildmaster's eye narrows as he prepares to reveal more of the story. He adds that there are also rumors that her party tried to drag Heist down. Geist sips his tea while the party defensively denies any such malicious action. He explains that as they become famous, an ex-member like Heist attracts jealousy. He pauses for a moment, letting the weight of his words sink in. With a knowing grin, he reassures them that he knows they are not like that. Geist then turns his attention specifically to a curious-looking Sasha. A teammate reports that Heist is still determined to achieve his childhood dream. Sasha innocently adds that she told him about a great spot to gather herbs. As he sips his tea, Geist casually asks for the location of this spot. He slams his cup down, shouting in alarm and demanding if she is serious. Clutching his head, he expresses how bad the situation has suddenly become. He reveals with a grim expression that the place is an SS+ rank monster's lair. Sasha's face fills with horror as she learns it is the Black Ancient Dragon's ground. A guild employee bursts in, shouting that there is a dire emergency downstairs. She urges them to come down immediately, and Geist quickly agrees. He orders a stunned Sasha and her party to accompany him as well. They rush down the stairs together to see what the commotion is about. Sasha's face is a mask of utter shock as she sees the source of the alarm. In the middle of the hall, Heiss holds the massive, severed head of the dragon. From the balcony, Sasha, Geist, and the others stare down in disbelief. Heiss coldly asks Sasha if her hatred for him truly ran that deep. His eye burns with fury as he says her plan failed because he survived. He declares triumphantly that he was the one who ultimately killed the dragon. Sasha stammers in denial, but he furiously tells her not to play dumb. His body wobbles as he admits he was happy for a moment, thinking she cared. His face is a mask of pure rage and betrayal as he stares up at them. His one visible eye is wide with fury as he prepares to make a vow. Sasha and her party can only watch from the railing, frozen in stunned silence. He declares that with his own strength, he will become the strongest of all. His strength finally gives out as he mutters Sasha's name one last time. He loses consciousness, his body beginning to wobble and tilt backward. He collapses from the railing, falling with a thud to the floor below. Sasha screams his name in terror, her face a mask of desperation and fear. Heiss lies unconscious on the floorboards of the chaotic guild hall. The scene shifts, establishing that 2 years have passed since the incident. Inside a humble inn, the keeper is seen reading a newspaper. A figure in dark, formidable adventuring gear approaches the front desk. Heiss places a few coins on the counter to pay the innkeeper. Now older and more mature, he confirms he is staying for another month. An info box identifies him as S-rank adventurer Heiss, the Harbinger of Darkness. He explains he chose this place precisely because no one would expect it. The innkeeper glances at him, acknowledging his impressive S-rank status. He wonders aloud why Heiss doesn't stay in a fancier inn befitting his rank. Later in his room, Heiss's attention is captured by a newspaper article. It announces that Brynhild, the Silver Valkyrie, Sasha, has finally reached S-rank. Sasha's picture is featured, the article noting her clan is flooded with applicants. Heiss's visible eye widens, his expression unreadable as he processes the news. His face is cast in shadow, reflecting a complex and silent inner turmoil. He leaves his room, closing the door behind him with a heavy thud. A banner hangs prominently inside the Grand Adventurers Guild Hall. Heiss bluntly asks Guildmaster Geist what he wants, sipping from a cup. The formidable Guildmaster Geist, in S-rank in combat, glares back at him. Geist lets out an exasperated sigh, clearly annoyed with the young man. He mentions hearing that Heiss soloed an S+ rank Mithril Ogre. Heiss cheekily credits Geist for his training, which Geist angrily denies ever giving. A diagram explains the monster ranking system, from F to a theoretical SSS. Geist complains that Heiss's messy kills ruin valuable salvageable materials. Changing the subject, Geist presents him with a formal, sealed letter. Heiss is confused, believing he already attended his S-rank ceremony. Geist clarifies that the previous event was merely the guild's own ceremony. Heiss questions why the royal family would hold a ceremony for adventurers. Geist explains that the first king was also the first ever S-rank adventurer. Because of this legacy, the royal family is responsible for classifying S-ranks. He will be given an official S-rank request at this royal ceremony. Heiss scoffs, noting he has already taken on missions of S+ rank. Geist casually adds that Sasha will also be there, which startles Heiss. His armored hand reflexively squeezes the cup he is holding. Geist watches him closely, asking if he still cannot bring himself to forgive her. Heiss's profile is sharp and determined as he states he can never forgive her. Geist begins to explain that Sasha kicked him out because she truly cared. A painful memory shows Sasha yelling that he was dragging the team down. Heiss questions whether someone would say such cruel things out of kindness. As Heiss sips his drink, Geist insists that she surely didn't mean it. He sets his cup down, stating it doesn't change the fact she still kicked him out. His thoughts trail off as he silently considers what she has done. He and Geist sit across from each other in a quiet room. A grim smile touches his lips as he begins to explain his perspective. Heiss admits he isn't against her philosophy of abandoning the weak to become strong. Addressing Geist-san, his gloved hand is shown in a close-up view. With a determined look, he declares his intent to walk his own path. His eye widens with intensity as he states his distrust for comrades. He announces his departure and forcefully slams the door behind him. Geist lets out a weary sigh, holding his cup in resignation. Watching Heiss leave, Geist muses that he is still just a kid. A significant amount of time passes, indicated by a caption. Under the crescent moon, a stately castle looms against the night sky. Heiss and Sasha stand side by side, formally addressing the Royal Highness. The two adventurers stand before the royal court in the vast throne room. King Barbaros of Highbelk prepares to issue their formal requests. The serious-looking Prince Crest steps forward to address the adventurers. Following him, the cheerful Princess Maiwane steps up with a bright smile. Prince Crest tasks Sasha with defeating crystal golems and will accompany her. Sasha gracefully bows her head, humbly accepting the mission assigned to her. Princess Maiwane excitedly turns to Heiss, ready to read his request. A map reveals his destination is the sacred mountain of Gagasia. His task is to gather the rare eternal moongrass for making elixirs. The first princess, Maiwane, joyfully announces she will be accompanying him. She clenches her fist, thrilled at the prospect of her first adventure. Heiss starts to interject, beginning to state his objection to her plan. He states firmly that he cannot allow Her Highness to accompany him. Prince Crest and Sasha look on, stunned by his blunt refusal. The king and his advisor are also taken aback by his audacity. Geist clutches his head in his hand, clearly stressed by the situation. Maiwane, completely flustered, demands to know the reason for his refusal. He explains the extreme danger of the mission and the risk to her life. The princess is shocked by his cold calculation of the risks involved. A confident smirk appears on his face as he prepares to state his creed. He declares his intention to work alone, with Sasha looking on. He formally requests permission from the king to undertake the task by himself. Instead of anger, the king bursts into hearty, booming laughter. He remarks that this is the first time a royal has been refused. The king states that he has heard of Heiss's solo achievements. He is aware that Heiss completes S-rank requests all on his own. The king finally agrees to Heiss's request, granting his wish. Princess Maiwane looks on in utter disbelief at her father's decision. She cries out to her father, lamenting the loss of her first adventure. The king sternly orders her to abandon any thought of going with Heiss. With a sharp clap of his hands, he moves to conclude the meeting. He formally announces that the ceremony has now concluded. The scene transitions as a grand door opens for the next event. A maid announces that the formal ceremony will be followed by a casual dinner. A lavish feast is laid out on a table for the attendees. The king laughingly tells Geist that Heiss is certainly something else. Geist admits to an advisor he's relieved he was warned beforehand. The king reassures them not to worry about what happened with the princess. The cheeky princess is seen heading straight for Sasha at the party. Undeterred, Maiwane introduces herself, hoping to join an S-class adventurer. She boldly asks Sasha if she can come along on her mission instead. Her brother Cress approaches to scold her for her forwardness. She puffs out her cheeks, arguing that it was her first adventure. Sasha smiles kindly, saying it's no bother at all to her. Maiwane's face lights up with pure joy at Sasha's agreement. Heiss watches them, dryly thinking to himself what a childish princess she is. The prince also relaxes, inviting her to call him by his name. A shot shows Sasha's happy and cohesive adventuring party. Heiss's eye is shown in a close-up, wide with an unreadable emotion. His expression is intense as he silently observes the scene unfold. He turns to leave, his heavy boot making a thudding sound. Later, he stands alone on a balcony, gazing at the starry sky. He decides he could go for a drink and turns to leave. A voice calls out to him, startling him and making him pause. It's Geist, holding a drink and approaching him on the balcony. Geist puts a hand on his shoulder, admitting how nervous Heiss made him. A small flashback shows Geist's surprise at Heiss's words to the king. Heiss offers a wry apology, acknowledging it wasn't something to laugh at. Geist explains that luckily the king found his bluntness rather amusing. He playfully ruffles Heiss's hair, telling him not to let it go to his head. Geist gives him a firm shove, reminding him no one will watch his back. Geist then asks him what he is planning to do now. Heiss clenches his gloved fist, declaring his intention to keep taking requests. He adds that he also needs to decipher his mysterious ancient book. Having stated his plans, he announces he is going home and turns away. As he leaves, the castle rumbles ominously under the crescent moon. He walks alone through a stone archway, heading out of the castle. A voice calls his name, causing him to pause just before leaving. He turns his head slightly, his expression cold and impassive. He sees Sasha standing in the archway, waiting for him. She asks to speak with him again, just the two of them. He turns away, stating coldly that he has nothing to talk about. Her expression is filled with pain and earnestness as she tries again. She tells him that she wanted to apologize for what happened. Heist lets out a hollow, mocking laugh at her words. He tells her to stop messing with him, his voice tight with anger. Sasha looks confused and hurt by his immediate and harsh rejection. He explodes, demanding to know why she is apologizing only now. He screams that she didn't even apologize when he almost got killed. He remembers the day after he passed out when she left him. He recalls how they all just decided to go on another mission. He accuses her of never planning to apologize from the very start. His mouth twists into a sneer as he says he doesn't need it. He states that whatever she says now means nothing to him. Sasha's face is a mask of shock and dawning despair. Heist turns his back on her, the rain falling heavily around them. She is left stunned and speechless by the finality of his rejection. A desperate hand forcefully grabs the sleeve of a dark, heavy coat. In the pouring rain, Sasha offers a pained and sincere apology to Heist. She confesses her fear, explaining she thought exiling him was for his own good. A memory shows her naive hope that achieving their dream would make him understand. Heist's cold eye questions the value of a shared dream only she was living. He dismisses her words, correcting her that it was her dream, not theirs. Telling her not to use him as an excuse, he sharply flicks her hand away. Tears of despair stream down Sasha's face as his rejection sinks in. Heist declares his new solitary dream is to become the strongest on his own. He vows to never abandon the weak, preferring to be completely alone from the start. He accuses her of also throwing away the dream they once shared. He tells her to pursue her goal of having the best team without him. Heavy rain pours over the city, symbolizing the finality of their separation. Later, his armored boot steps firmly on the cracked ground, moving forward. Hooded and determined, he accepts they can never return to how things were. The narrative shifts focus to a rare glowing flower, the eternal moongrass. An old book explains its use in elixirs and its defining luminescent trait. It is said to grow only on the peak of Mount Gagazia in Igdora. Heist prepares for his quest, donning his formidable SS Plus rank dragon hide coat. His inventory includes a magical ring and the mysterious ancient book. At the Adventurers Guild, he calmly examines his S-rank identification card. A cheerful receptionist says the guildmaster is currently speaking with Sasha. He turns his attention to the request board, searching for a high-ranking mission. Accepting the delay, he politely turns away from the booing receptionist. He takes a step forward, contemplating which request he should undertake next. His attention is suddenly captured by a striking, serious-looking elf girl nearby. He quickly dismisses his staring, brushing it off as nothing important. His gaze returns to the bounty board, filled with various monster posters. The elf girl notices his glance and asks if her kind is uncommon here. From behind, Heist confirms that elves are indeed a rare sight in this region. A map illustrates the great distance between the kingdom and the elven forest. She confirms that this is, in fact, her very first time visiting. Their brief, slightly awkward conversation continues between the guild's wooden posts. She explains that her travels west eventually led her to this central area. Rummaging in her things, she introduces herself as Prisha, a B-rank adventurer. He notes her rank and proceeds to ask about the party she travels with. Prisha confidently declares that she is strong enough to handle things by herself. Heist is surprised, remarking that he's never heard anyone else say that. In response, he casually flips out his own S-rank adventurer card. Prisha observes that it is quite rare for a solo adventurer to be S-rank. She then asks him if he is currently in the middle of a request. He confirms his mission will take him to the forest nation of Igdora. Prisha reacts with explosive shock, grabbing him while exclaiming his destination. The receptionist interrupts, announcing that the guildmaster is now ready for him. He agrees to go and begins walking away, bidding the receptionist farewell. He pauses at the bottom of a staircase, noticing Prisha standing there. Prisha looks up with a surprised expression, having been caught waiting. He correctly deduces she also came to see Geist about the royal request. As he walks past, their steps fall into sync towards the same office. The two adventurers proceed together down the guild's main hall. Prisha's long hair flows as she follows closely behind him. They enter the guildmaster's room, where Geist sits waiting silently. Geist reveals the mission involves a fearsome SS plus rank dragon on Mount Gagazia. An image displays the intricate crest of the Yggdrasil clan, led by Ibis. A diagram explains that clans are powerful organizations created by S-rank adventurers. Geist presents Heist with a formal, wax-sealed envelope. He explains it is a letter of introduction to the leader of Yggdrasil. Geist notes his 40 years as an adventurer have built him many connections. Heist takes the letter and announces that he is ready to depart. From his office window, Geist wishes Heist to be careful on his journey. Outside the royal capital, Heist stands before the massive main gate. He casts one last look back at the city walls before venturing out. His sharp senses suddenly flare, detecting an unseen presence nearby. He instantly draws his large pistol, demanding to know who is there. He aims his weapon steadily into the seemingly empty field before him. An energy blast erupts from the ground directly in front of his position. The loud bang of the explosion echoes across the quiet clearing. He leaps backward just in time, the attack missing him by inches. An unseen voice warns him that the next shot will not miss its mark. Immediately, a different voice surrenders, stepping out from hiding. Pressure reveals herself, admitting that he has found her out. She states she has a favor to ask, but he curtly dismisses her. Her determined gaze shows that she will not be so easily dissuaded. An annoyed Heist demands to know why she was following him. She insists that the favor she has must be fulfilled only by him. Precia reveals her wish to accompany him to the sacred mountain of Gagasia. He asks for her reason, his expression still laced with suspicion. She explains that her objective is to find the eternal moongrass. A memory shows her sister, gravely ill, who can only be saved by the herb. She explains that entry is forbidden due to the monster mating season. Heist remains skeptical, still not understanding what this has to do with him. She hints that his official status as a royal petitioner changes the situation. Precia clarifies that a request from the kingdom grants definite permission to enter. Heist is surprised that she knows so much about his private mission. She sheepishly admits she eavesdropped on his conversation with the guildmaster. Clenching her fist, she reiterates her desperate need to save her sister. She proposes a temporary alliance to be his teammate until they gain entry. She declares her willingness to die, telling him to leave her if she falls. As a final plea, she offers him all her money if their quest succeeds. Heist's grim expression remains shadowed and unreadable. He coldly states that her personal reasons have nothing to do with him. However, he concedes that he doesn't care if she decides to follow him. His sharp gaze warns her of the strict conditions of their arrangement. He makes it clear they are not teammates and she is on her own. Precia confidently accepts his terms, stating she can protect herself. With a dismissive sound, Heist turns and begins to walk away from her. The two adventurers set off on their journey, keeping a distance between them. He calls out her name, Precia, as if testing the sound of it. She turns with a bright, genuine smile, confirming her name. She formally introduces herself, happy to finally meet him properly. A goblin-like creature lets out a final, pained cry before collapsing. The forest floor is littered with the bodies of the defeated monsters. His companion, Precia, remarks that his weapon is truly something else. Floating nearby, she asks Heist if the firearm is his blessing. With a serious expression, he confirms that it is indeed his power. Precia explains his ability as spirit command, controlling invisible spirits. Heist details the 4 weapon spirits he can currently summon for battle. He adds there are even more weapons that he cannot yet use. With a swift motion, Heist casually taps the buckle on his belt. As a pistol materializes, she realizes she is the only one who can see them. Deciding that's enough talk, Heist drops his gear to set up camp. Precia marvels at the large tent and supplies from his item box. He explains he bought a high-capacity S-Class item box in the capital. Curious about his preparations, Precia asks him what he is making. He presents her with a hearty-looking sandwich and a bowl of soup. She hesitates, reminding him that they are not actually teammates. He dismisses her concern, saying he simply felt like sharing the meal. Understanding his gesture, Precia begins to eat the soup he prepared. Her eyes widen in delight as she tastes the amazing food. She compliments his cooking, and he admits to having prior experience. Having finished her meal, Precia thanks him for the food. She continues to stare at him intently, making him ask what she wants. Precia admits she initially thought he would be a much colder person. Heist looks confused as she expresses her genuine gratitude towards him. She explains his help gives her a real chance to save her sister. The campfire crackles brightly, illuminating their quiet campsite at night. As thanks, she offers to have her spirits keep watch for the night. She insists that he should get some proper rest while she takes guard. He looks into the fire, remarking that the situation feels nostalgic. Under a starry sky, Heist agrees to her generous offer. The next day, the two travelers stand on a ridge overlooking a forest. Heist spots something massive in the distance and asks what it is. Precia excitedly identifies the colossal tree as the base of the Yggdrasil clan. Her eyes sparkle as she explains Clan Master Ibis created the tree. A diagram explains the 4 great clans are as influential as countries. The Western clan, Fantastic Fantasy, is the world's largest entertainment district. She points out their current location is within the Yggdrasil clan's territory. They arrive at the main gate of the forest nation, Igdora. Hisei presents an official request from the royal family to the guard. He glances back at his companion, intending to include her in the request. Priscilla hides nervously under her cloak as he speaks for her. She whispers frantically, but he tells her to ignore it for now. The guard hands Heiss an official entrance certificate for their passage. Heiss shuffles through his belongings to find another important item. He presents a sealed letter from an acquaintance of the clan master. The guard's eyes widen in complete shock upon seeing the letter seal. He scrambles away, pleading for them to wait just a moment. Two robed elderly elves approach them from within the gate. One apologizes for the delay, identifying Heiss as Geist-san's disciple. The elder insists he come with him, as the master is calling for him. Heiss wonders how things got so complicated as Priscilla decides to wait. Priscilla turns to Heiss to give him a piece of advice before he leaves. She warns him that Ibis-sama is more powerful than the royal family. The elderly elf guide gently urges him to come along. The guide introduces a strange contraption he calls an elevator. The elevator ascends along the trunk of the massive tree. It comes to a stop with a soft ding high up in the canopy. The guide points towards their destination just ahead of them. He explains this is Ibis-sama's sanctuary, where Heiss will find the clan master. Grand ornate doors slide open, revealing the path forward. Heiss and his guide step into the long, formal hall. A figure with long hair is seen from below, sitting on a cushion. The figure, an elf-like girl with a pipe, offers a simple welcome. She is revealed as Ibis, the Yggdrasil clan master, much to Heiss's shock. Ibis gives a smug look, confirming she is who he seeks. Holding a letter, she confirms she has read Geist's correspondence. Heiss is shocked that Geist predicted he would likely decline her help. Ibis laughs, calling him a cheeky brat for his stubbornness. Heiss places his hand on his book, looking uncomfortable under her gaze. Ibis moves closer to him, her expression turning curious. She leans in and sniffs him, sensing something familiar about him. A fanged smile appears as she says she can smell gunpowder on him. She asks him if he knows about guns, startling him with her question. Her expression softens into one of fond nostalgia. Ibis explains she once had a teammate who used them in the past. Heiss shuffles his feet, deciding to change the subject. He presents his ornate book, asking if she knows anything about it. Ibis's playful demeanor vanishes, her eyes wide with recognition. She reaches out to take the familiar-looking book from his hands. Taking it, she murmurs that she can't believe it's still around. The two stand together as he prepares to reveal the book's owner. She confirms that she does indeed recognize the tome he holds. Heiss reveals the book is the diary of a man named Nobunaga. Ibis is surprised that he heard her mutter the name. She explains Nobunaga was a person who came from another world. Ibis squints at the text, concentrating on the foreign letters. Heiss asks if she can read what is written inside the book. With a gentle smile, she admits she cannot read another world's letters. She returns the book, adding that Nobunaga never told her its contents. Heiss looks at the open page, surprised that he can read some of it. He tells her he can understand a little bit of the writing. He flips through the pages, finding the text easier to comprehend. He looks up in confusion, questioning his own sudden ability. His gloved hand traces the text as he realizes he can read more now. Ibis leans in eagerly, her interest piqued by this development. A fanged grin appears as she asks him to tell her what it says. He cautiously asks her not to take offense at what he's about to read. The diary entry describes Ibis visiting Nobunaga, comparing her to a cat. It gushes about her being the cutest and his fantasy of giving her cat ears. Overwhelmed but energized, Ibis declares that now she is truly motivated. Heiss deadpans the contents of the diary entry, leaving his companion utterly flabbergasted. He then bluntly asks Ibis if she and the author, Nobunaga, were lovers. Overcome with embarrassment, Ibis forcefully grabs Heiss by the collar of his coat. She physically throws him out of the room with a powerful heave. With a flushed face, she yells that that's enough for today's meeting. Ibis frantically bids him farewell as the large doors slam shut behind him. Later, walking through a forest, Heiss lets out a weary sigh of resignation. He reflects on the strange coincidence of being able to read more pages now. A thought crosses his mind that the book might possess its own will. He quickly dismisses the notion, thinking there is no way that's possible. Their journey takes them to the fog-shrouded peak of the sacred mountain, Gagazia. Heiss notes to his companion that they are now almost at the top. Ibis observes that the fog is growing thicker because of their high altitude. She complains she can barely see as the ground beneath them begins to crack. A monstrous, shadowy creature emerges from the dense fog with a guttural roar. The massive worm-like beast lunges, snatching Ibis into the air as she cries out. Her face is a mask of pure shock as she is lifted from the ground. Annoyed by the interruption, Heiss clicks his tongue with sharp irritation. He springs into action with a blur of motion, rushing to her aid. While holding her, he unleashes a rapid volley of explosive attacks on the beast. After the brief battle, the two stand over the defeated monster's twitching corpse. Ibis looks on, still shaken by the sudden and violent encounter. Heiss looks over at the slain creature, his expression serious and focused. He observes that the monster must use the fog to its advantage when hunting. With his gauntlet glowing, he warns Ibis to remain on her toes. She asks him why he helped her, pointing out that they are not teammates. He begins to explain his reasoning, his gaze turned away from her. His words cause her eyes to widen in sudden, dawning understanding. He states that, while he has no obligation to save her, he will help her sister. He considers it a form of thanks for everything she has taught him. Genuinely touched by his words, she offers him a sincere, quiet thank you. Heiss accepts her gratitude with a simple one-word affirmation. A sudden, deafening roar erupts, startling both of them into high alert. They look up to see the colossal, indistinct shape of a dragon in the fog. Ibis sees an opportunity to grab the coveted eternal moongrass. Heiss grimly identifies the creature as a dragon. She reasons that the beast has likely gone out on a hunt. Without another thought, she dashes off toward her objective. He yells out to her, trying to stop her reckless action. She calls back, promising she will be right back after she grabs it. He shouts at her to wait, his face a mask of panic and frustration. He fumes, calling her an idiot for underestimating such a dangerous creature. He knows dragons are extremely territorial and will return the moment their domain is breached. Cursing, he realizes he is now surrounded by more of the worm-like monsters. Meanwhile, Prisia's foot rustles the grass as she arrives in a new area. She announces her arrival in the barren, rocky clearing, her quest continuing. She notes the lack of moongrass and feels the urgency of her dwindling time. Her eyes dart around the empty landscape, searching for any sign of the herb. Her hope shatters as she whispers a single, despairing, "No way." The crushing realization hits her. All of the eternal moongrass is gone. She drops to her knees in defeat, a small pouch falling from her hand. This failure means she will not be able to create the life-saving elixir. With tears in her eyes, she offers a heartbreaking apology to her sister. A sudden sound from the ground breaks her sorrowful contemplation. A monstrous green elephant dragon, SS+ rank, erupts from the earth before her. The colossal beast lets out a deafening guttural roar that shakes the air. Prisia, still kneeling, looks up at the terrifying creature looming over her. The sheer power of its roar washes over her, her face a mask of terror. Heiss, watching from a distance, is shocked by the dragon's sudden appearance. Despite her fear, Prisia rises to her feet, her expression now grimly determined. She prepares to fight, summoning her spiritual power to form a large bow. With a sharp "Shibu," she releases an arrow of pure light at the beast. The arrow strikes the dragon's head but has no effect. The spiritual energy dissipates harmlessly against the creature's tough hide. She realizes with shock that her spiritual energy is completely useless against it. Her hand tightens on her bow as she knows she must try something else. The dragon, recovering from its confusion, prepares to attack again. It unleashes a different roar, a wave of pure sonic force. Prisia cries out, trembling violently under the powerful vibrational assault. Her bow clatters to the ground as she is completely overwhelmed. The dragon spits a puff of air or substance, a prelude to its attack. Its long, muscular tongue whips out with incredible speed, knocking her aside. The tongue wraps around her torso, squeezing the air from her lungs. It lifts her effortlessly into the air, its grip tightening. Suddenly, a blur of motion intercepts the beast's attack. Heiss slams a powerful kick into the side of the dragon's head. The impact loosens the tongue's grip, and he grabs her arm to steady her. He furiously demands to know what the hell she was doing, panting from exertion. Stunned, she stammers his name, asking what he's doing there. He moves her aside, placing himself between her and the wounded dragon. He commands her to stay back, stumbling slightly but holding his ground. He unleashes a rapid-fire barrage from his pistol at the massive beast. The bullets, however, merely ricochet harmlessly off the dragon's thick hide. He assesses that the attack wasn't lethal and considers his next move. He draws a much more formidable, double-barreled firearm. With practiced ease, he breaks it open, ejecting the spent shells. After loading a new cartridge, he gives the weapon an expert twirl. The new shell clicks into place with a satisfying sound. The weapon is now ready to be fired. His one visible eye narrows in deadly focus as he takes aim. Under the crescent moon, he fires a massive, explosive blast at the dragon. The colossal beast crashes to the ground, and he wonders if it's dead. Prisia is in awe that he took down a dragon so easily. He turns to her, asking if she is okay, and she confirms she is. She falls silent for a moment, processing the whirlwind of events. Glancing at him, she asks why he came to her aid. He replies with exasperation that he had told her to wait for him. The realization that he rushed to save her causes Priscilla to blush deeply. He suggests they leave, as the smell of the dead dragon becomes noticeable. He turns back as she calls out to him, noticing something new. Heist turns to a stunned Priscilla, asking what is wrong. She points towards the ground, explaining that it is glowing. They stand together under the night sky, realizing the plants only shine after dark. A close-up reveals a beautiful crescent-shaped flower glowing softly. Priscilla breathes its name with reverence, the eternal moongrass. The wondrous plant suddenly begins to shrivel and decay before their eyes. Both Priscilla and Heist look on, their expressions frozen in shock. Heist voices his suspicion that the dragon's blood is causing them to wither. Priscilla cries out in despair that this happened just after they finally found it. Heist watches her silently, his own expression grim and unreadable. His gaze is suddenly caught by something in the distance. Priscilla excitedly points to a single surviving patch of light. A lone point of light shines brightly in the devastated field. Her eye reflects the single glimmer of hope that remains. She immediately sprints towards the last surviving moongrass plant. With focused hands, she rustles through a pouch at her hip. Using a small knife, she carefully harvests the precious flower. The stem is severed with a clean and precise motion. She gently places the glowing moongrass into a glass jar. Holding the jar, her expression is one of quiet reverence and relief. She seals the jar tightly, securing the precious cargo within. Turning around, she prepares to walk back towards Heist. Approaching him, she acknowledges that he was the one who defeated the dragon. With a bright smile, she offers the jar, stating that it belongs to him. He thoughtfully considers that he might be able to find more elsewhere. Holding the jar, he states that this officially completes his request. At a mountain path entrance, they are met by an approaching group. A voice calls out, identifying Priscilla with formal respect. Heist glances over, his hand clenching into a fist at this development. A figure appears, expressing relief at having finally found Priscilla. The newcomer Adra gently chides her for disappearing with only a note. Adra then turns his attention to Heist, confirming his identity. He asks if Heist took Priscilla to Gagazia, and Heist confirms it. Adra reveals Priscilla is the Queen of Igdora's younger sister. He sternly informs Heist that she is not someone to be treated lightly. Turning back, he asks Priscilla about the outcome of her quest. She admits with resignation that it ended just as she had feared. Priscilla furiously asks if he expects her to let her sister die. Adra denies this, his expression cold and detached. He states calmly that this is simply Queen Alcera's destiny. He tells Priscilla they must return home to discuss their marriage. Priscilla looks on with a defeated and resistant expression. Heist's hand clenches into a fist again upon hearing about the marriage. He pats his own arm, telling Priscilla it seems she needs to go. Heist begins to walk away from the tense confrontation. With a casual wave, he bids her a simple farewell. Priscilla's eyes are wide with disbelief at his sudden departure. She watches his retreating figure, seemingly abandoned. The scene shifts to the Queen's room in the forest nation of Igdora. A tearful Priscilla apologizes to her sick sister, Queen Alcera. She confesses that she could not find any eternal moongrass. Alcera gently wipes her sister's tears, telling her it is fine. She calmly accepts that this is simply her destiny. The Queen then asks Priscilla to tell her about her travels. Priscilla wipes her tears and nods in agreement. Forcing a smile, she says she brought back some souvenirs. She rustles through a pouch at her hip with a soft clink. Queen Alcera's weary eyes widen in shock at what she sees. Priscilla holds up a jar containing the glowing eternal moongrass. The Queen confirms with disbelief that it is what she thinks it is. A close-up shows the miraculous, crescent-shaped flower. Priscilla's face crumples as she realizes who must have given it to her. A few days later, a banner hangs from a guild building. An older man questions Heist about his officially failed request. He notes that success would have been better given the circumstances. The man asks Heist what he plans to do now. He offers a new request, anticipating Heist's interest. The request is to investigate a newly discovered dungeon. As Heist leaves, he bids the man a simple farewell. A voice calls his name, and he pauses in the doorway. Priscilla stands there, waiting for him in the hall. Heist is visibly surprised, asking why she is there. She responds with a bright, warm, and genuine smile. Priscilla explains her sister was cured with the moongrass he gave her. She adds that the Queen has already returned to her royal duties. With deep gratitude, she tells him that she owes him a great deal. Heist bluntly asks what she wants from him now. She excitedly explains she has been granted freedom to travel. Her goal now is to somehow repay him for everything he has done. She proposes to be his talking buddy, but clarifies they are not teammates. Heiss immediately rejects her offer and begins to walk away. Priscilla watches him go, her expression unfazed. She lets out a small chuckle, seemingly amused by his reaction. As he walks away, she calls out again, stopping him. She invites him to a meal at a nice cafe, offering to treat him. The scene flashes back several days to a castle gate. An excited face looks on with a wide, eager grin. Another party member clasps her hands in keen anticipation. A handsome man expresses his readiness for the royal request. A determined girl's eyes are focused on the task ahead. A bespectacled team member looks on with a serious expression. The full party, sacred, rallies to defeat a crystal golem. They arrive at the vast mountainous crystal mines. The party approaches the ominous entrance to the mines. Their leader notes they must increase their power to succeed. The strategy begins with creating a duplicate of the leader. Another member will then enhance arrows with explosion magic. Their leader will follow up for the final, decisive blow. The rest of the team is tasked with providing cover. A girl's determined eyes show she is ready for the plan. A bespectacled man named Tycoon watches the unfolding scene with serious focus. Nearby, a goggle-wearing girl, Robin, looks on with a confident, determined smile. Sasha, their leader, turns to ask if Cress and Mywayne are both prepared. With great enthusiasm, Cress and Mywayne confirm they are both ready for battle. Sasha takes a firm, decisive step forward, indicating the plan is set. She turns to her party, giving the final command for the mission to begin. The adventurers proceed into the dimly lit, wooden-supported interior of the mines. One member remarks on the beautiful sight of the glowing, crystalline cavern. It is explained that this mine contains high-quality ore used for manufacturing. A grave warning is given that unauthorized mining is punishable by execution. Sasha finds herself mesmerized by the mysterious glow of the large crystals. Tycoon adjusts his glasses, preparing to add his own knowledge to the discussion. He has heard that the ores become even more beautiful deeper in the mine. Suddenly, he holds up a hand, sharply commanding the entire party to halt. The scout Robin has spotted their quarry, a hulking, massive crystal golem. When asked for a count, Robin reports that something about the situation feels off. She urges the others to look for themselves and see the strange sight. 5 of the golems are patrolling the area with heavy, coordinated stomps. 2 more are seen standing guard at a processing facility in the back. The party observes their strangely coordinated movements with growing unease. Tycoon explains that golems are simple monsters mutated from rock and ore. He concludes that they shouldn't possess such a high level of consciousness. A worried Reynolds turns to their leader, asking Sasha what they should do now. Gripping her sword, Sasha shows her unwavering resolve to face the threat. She declares with absolute confidence that they are going to stick to the plan. With a pat, she activates her powerful double ability with a shout. A perfect, identical duplicate of herself materializes beside her in a soft poof. The original Sasha confirms she is leaving the next part of the attack to Robin. Mywayne calls out the name of her enchantment, Explosion, as energy swirls. Robin pulls back her bowstring, preparing to unleash a volley of arrows. A fan of enchanted arrows soars through the air toward the smaller golems. The projectiles hit their marks, resulting in a series of powerful explosions. With the lesser enemies dispatched, the 2 Sashas sprint forward to engage. They leap into the air, announcing their combined Silver Flash Lotus Strike. Their massive arc of energy descends upon the remaining golem forces below. In a chaotic flurry, the twin warriors slice through the crystalline enemies. Golems shatter into countless glittering fragments as the 2 Sashas press on. Mywayne and another companion are in awe, remarking on how cool Sasha is. Sasha explains this incredible ability can only be used once per day. Her expression turns serious as she contemplates a lingering doubt. She admits she felt an ominous aura and had hoped to save the ability. Reynolds questions if she is truly serious about venturing deeper into the mine. Sasha is certain that whatever lies ahead is already aware of their presence. She asserts that they cannot ignore such a palpable threat, requested or not. The party steps forward, entering a dark, ominous archway leading deeper. They move cautiously through the dark passage into the unknown area beyond. The archway opens into a large chamber filled with crates and rubble. A voice asks if they sensed his presence and decided to come over. A shirtless, horned man sits casually, complimenting them on their talent. With a sinister smile, he introduces himself as the demon, Crane. Tycoon reacts with utter shock, questioning if he really just said demon. He repeats the word, his worry growing as he recognizes the grave danger. He explains that demons are an ancient race from a great war long ago. The continent was split, separating the human and demon realms. Crane mockingly asks how he could possibly be here if travel is impossible. He condescendingly compliments Tycoon on his intelligence. The demon asks if they truly understand what his kind is capable of. Tycoon frantically tells Sasha that they need to get out of there immediately. He recounts how a few thousand demons fought against tens of thousands of humans. Crane beams with pleasure, saying it feels wonderful to be complimented. His expression shifts to one of cunning and dangerous amusement. He offers to let them go, sarcastically thanking Mr. Glasses for the information. He reveals a large, high-purity crystal he has already acquired. Sasha demands to know what he is planning to do with the crystals. He dismissively tells her she wouldn't understand, even if he explained. He warns them to scram before he is forced to squash them like bugs. Sasha's eyes narrow, coldly repeating his threatening words back at him. Crane laughingly compares humans to insects who are drawn to treasure. With a sudden, violent motion, he clenches his fist around the priceless crystal. He looks down with mock confusion as the beautiful gem shatters in his hand. Sasha stands in stunned silence as the glittering crystal dust falls away. Crane's sinister eye glares as he asks what she thinks she's doing. Drawing her sword, Sasha announces that she now understands the situation. She declares that an insect has crawled its way into the kingdom of Highbelk. Crane finishes her thought, stating that he is simply exterminating them. Tycoon cries out Sasha's name in a panicked warning to be careful. Reynolds reminds Tycoon of the penalty for unauthorized mining in this territory. The other party members angrily ask how Crane dares to speak to Sasha. Tycoon gasps as a wave of immense pressure radiates from the demon. He identifies the overwhelming sensation as pure, unadulterated strength. Crane acknowledges Sasha's interesting ability to have sensed his presence. The ground cracks under the force of his unleashed demonic power. He states, however, that her power is nothing compared to his own. With an elegant flick of his finger, he prepares to unleash an attack. The effortless assault sends the party stumbling back with a pained grunt. Tycoon is violently slammed into a pile of rubble by the invisible force. Sasha braces herself, her hair whipping around from the powerful shockwave. She grits her teeth, clearly frustrated by the demon's casual display of might. Crane, his face now a sinister mask, dismisses her resilience as annoying. He decides to deal with her first, recognizing her as the primary threat. Reynolds intercepts the attack, roaring that he will not let Crane pass. The sheer impact of the blow sends shockwaves rippling through the ground. Crane looks momentarily surprised by the unexpected defensive maneuver. Sasha is shocked as a sudden, powerful gust of wind erupts from the impact. The force of the wind blast pushes Reynolds and Sasha backward. Wooden crates and other debris begin to lift into the air around them. Crane demonstrates his power, making the heavy objects float effortlessly. He levitates into the center of a swirling vortex of rubble and debris. He boasts that he could destroy an entire town with a single storm. His face contorts as he claims demon powers are on another level entirely. Amidst the cavern's wreckage, Sasha acknowledges her opponent's amazing ability. She takes a firm step forward on the cracked and debris-strewn ground. She declares that his power alone won't be enough to defeat her party. With conviction, Sasha states that in a fight, strength isn't everything. Her demonic foe, Crane, scoffs, preparing to show her his true power. Suddenly, he grunts in pain, struck by an unseen explosive projectile. He wonders how he was hit amidst his swirling vortex of debris. His gaze fixes on the goggle-wearing archer, suspecting her involvement. He realizes she must have mixed an arrow into his telekinetic attack. Sasha's expression is grim and determined as she prepares her own move. Her elegant hand with long black nails points, ready to return his attack. Crane sees multiple energy projectiles streaking towards him and his companions. A massive beam of energy screams across the cavern at his stunned party. The cavern erupts in a cataclysmic explosion of pure force and light. Wooden crates and rubble are violently thrown about by the powerful blast. The air shimmers with residual energy as the dust begins to settle. Crane stares in disbelief, his single dark eye wide with astonishment. A massive, ornate shield holds firm against the magical onslaught. A vision shows Sasha and Reynolds fighting back-to-back in perfect unity. In reality, Reynolds endures immense pain as dark markings cover his body. He collapses to the ground, crying out in agony from the incredible strain. Sasha stands over him, stating this moment proves her philosophy's truth. Reynolds grimaces, the effort of their defense clearly taking its toll. A memory flashes of Sasha deflecting an attack with a swirl of energy. In the memory, Reynolds roars, enraged at being fooled by a human. A close-up shows a framed portrait of Sasha, the focus of his rage. Sasha coldly threatens to destroy his friends and his loved ones. Her threat extends to destroying his entire country without any hesitation. Reynolds, his eye now bandaged, vows he will kill her himself. He screams at her to mark his words, his face contorted with hatred. In the present, the last wisps of magic fade in a quiet courtyard. Sasha stands alone, her expression somber as she reflects on the battle. At the Highbelk royal castle, the king questions her about the demons. From the throne room floor, she confirms his information is correct. She reports on the demon Crane, who seemed to be plotting something. The royal children, Cress and Myowane, stand by during the report. The king contrasts Sasha's success with Heiss's supposed failure. The royals express their desire to share their own perspectives on the matter. The king commends Sasha's party, Sacred, for their excellent work. Sasha looks down, surprised and questioning the news of Heiss's failure. The king asks what reward Sasha would like for her party's efforts. With determination, she requests a clan home for her entire team. A minister reveals he anticipated this and made prior arrangements. The minister thanks Sasha as her goggle-wearing teammate looks on excitedly. He prepares to present the rewards to the eager adventuring party. He presents a mountain of deeds, letting them choose their new home. The goggle-wearing girl celebrates, excited about a huge bathroom. The minister then asks Sasha if she is curious about Heiss's failure. Sasha's expression is serious and attentive, her interest clearly captured. A map shows the report's origin, the forest kingdom of Igdora. He reveals Heiss did procure a single precious eternal moongrass. However, Heiss had learned that Queen Alcera of Igdora was gravely ill. He instead gave the herb to the queen's younger sister, Priscilla. Reynolds clenches his fist upon hearing Heiss's name and selfless act. The minister explains Heiss received gratitude for saving a royal's life. He adds that Heiss then declined any reward for his noble actions. The goggle-wearing girl exclaims this selfless act is just like Heiss. Sasha asks the minister what has become of Priscilla since then. A document confirms Priscilla has left Igdora to continue as an adventurer. The minister reveals Priscilla is now apparently traveling together with Heiss. The goggle-wearing girl shouts in disbelief at the news about Heiss. Sasha looks down, worriedly wondering if Heiss is teaming up with Priscilla. In the guildmaster's room, Heiss is surprised by the conversation. He questions the guildmaster's suggestion that he should take a rest. The guildmaster and an attendant confirm his dungeon quest is over. Heiss protests, pointing out they had only reached the 60th floor. An attendant returns his adventurer card, explaining the guild's reasoning. His S-rank card is placed on the table as the quest is open. When asked about other quests, the guildmaster says there are none. Heiss is advised that he should really take some downtime now and then. Geist reminds him he is only 16 and should enjoy his youth. He playfully suggests a date, but Heiss is completely uninterested. Geist teases him, reminding him that he has Priscilla's company. A flustered Heiss insists Priscilla is just following him around. The guildmaster laughs, then sets the jokes aside for a moment. He notes Heiss's well-known fondness for reading books. He hands Heiss a flyer, suggesting a place he might like to visit. The flyer is for a used book market in the capital's commercial district. He suggests it's a good way to kill time and find rare books. Heiss studies the flyer, his interest captured by the prospect. Priscilla appears, excitedly announcing she is going to the book market. Heiss looks annoyed, realizing she was eavesdropping on him once again. She promises they can go their separate ways once they arrive there. With a sigh of resignation, Heiss tells her to do whatever she wants. They arrive in the bustling and picturesque old commercial district. Heiss watches as Priscilla immediately dashes off into the crowded street. He muses on how she ran off on her own as soon as they arrived. He looks up at the large building that houses the book market. Resigned, he decides to head inside the market building by himself. Inside, he is impressed by the sheer variety of books on display. His eye is caught by a particular volume on a nearby shelf. The book is titled The Adventures of the S-rank adventurer, Gerald. He wonders if an S-rank adventurer named Gerald ever really existed. Deciding to read it for now, he reaches for the book on the shelf. As his gloved hand touches the book, another hand touches his own. He and Sasha stand facing each other, both reaching for the same volume. Heiss looks at her in profile, a bit of sweat on his face. Sasha is also surprised, her mouth slightly agape in utter shock. She stammers an apology, flustered by the unexpected encounter. The two of them stand awkwardly in the quiet aisle of the bookstore. Amidst towering library shelves, a young woman, Sasha, hesitantly addresses a man named Heiss. A red-haired man, Reynolds, appears beside her, surprised to see Heiss as well. Heiss offers a terse, non-committal reply, his expression grim and distant. Reynolds teasingly asks if they were on a date, causing Sasha to react with shocked denial. Laughing, Reynolds pulls a protesting Sasha close, confirming his own playful assumption. As Sasha continues to deny it, Heist looks down with a cold, unreadable expression. Later, his elven companion, Priscilla, notices his somber mood and asks if something is wrong. He dismisses her concern, insisting that it is nothing of importance. Priscilla suggests his fatigue is from carrying books and proposes a break for tea. Silently agreeing, Heist walks with her through the library aisles. Sometime later, he sits with a stack of books, his expression still troubled. From a distance, his former teammates, Sasha and Reynold, are seen walking away. At a small cafe, Priscilla gently starts a conversation with him. She correctly identifies the woman from before as Sasha, his former teammate. Heist remains silent, staring pensively into his teacup. Priscilla admits she remembers looking into their past history. With a soft smile, she notes that they were once childhood friends. He confirms this, but coldly states their past no longer matters to him. Her hands clasping, Priscilla prepares to ask him a very direct question. With a serious gaze, she asks him if he has feelings for Sasha. She then poses the alternative, questioning if he hates her instead. Priscilla suggests that if she had researched properly, she would already know the answer. Heist reveals that Sasha nearly caused his death, a violent memory flashing by. His companion gently refutes his claim, but then concedes there might be some truth to it. His face etched with weariness, Heist declares that things can never be the same again. Priscilla quietly repeats his words, questioning his sense of finality. His gloved fist clenches tightly on the table, betraying his inner turmoil. She challenges him directly, asking if he ever even tried to go back. A furious memory surfaces of a man snarling a curse about a damn brat. In the deepest part of a dungeon, a blond man rages over a fallen monster. The massive, grotesque beast lies dead at his feet, its final roar echoing. Trembling with fury, the blond man vows to kill the person responsible for this. A sinister idea suddenly comes to him, marked by a sharp snap of his fingers. He wonders aloud about the possibility of causing a monster stampede. A cruel grin spreads across his face as he imagines how entertaining it would be. He eagerly anticipates seeing the look of pure terror on his target's face. A demonic voice taunts the dying man, telling him his end is near. The demon offers a dark bargain, saying he knows what to do to avoid death.